Hello, my friends. Today the situation on the front line has significantly worsened, particularly in the Avdiivka direction. There is a critical situation unfolding. Despite attacks continuing, though not in the highest number, 9 assaults were recorded within a day. Reports are emerging today that the occupiers have already entered the city. It's highly likely that reconnaissance and sabotage groups are freely moving around Avdiivka. Hence, the map indicates that battles are taking place in the center of Avdiivka. While not entirely accurate, it's presented this way to convey the situation. Additionally, occupiers shell the center of Avdiivka, and fights are reported on the extreme streets of the private sector. Unfortunately, the occupiers have penetrated their city significantly. Battles are gradually moving into the city limits, reminiscent of the situation in Bakhmut. According to the latest information, an additional 40,000 soldiers, including the Stelmakhivka group and a large number of tanks, have been deployed for urban warfare. So, today, battles are also underway near the village of Novobakhmutivka, and on the southern flank, fights are occurring in the village of Pervomaiske. Occupiers are nearly breaking into the center of the village, and attacks near Novobakhmutivka persist. Further south, battles are happening around Zaporizhzhia, the village of Vuhledar and Novobakhmutivka. After regrouping, the occupiers have become highly active, creating a challenging situation. Here, 20 attacks were recorded within a day, indicating greater activity than around Avdiivka. In the Vuhledar direction, there is increased activity. Several groups are attempting to advance near Stelmakhivka, and attacks near Zolota Niva continue. They are getting progressively closer to populated areas, with 6 attacks conducted within a day. However, so far, the Ukrainian forces managed to defeat the advancing groups, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, today, the occupiers slightly altered their attack direction, attempting to break through to the east of Novobakhmutivka. They storm positions of the Ukrainian forces across fields and conduct shelling along the entire front line. 3 attacks have been carried out within the day, but the front line remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers periodically attempt to push the Ukrainian forces out of the left bank, shelling the area around Kreminna on the right bank to prevent Ukrainian forces from transferring reserves. But despite these efforts, the bridgehead remains under the control of the Ukrainian forces, and Russian war correspondents report that the occupiers seem to have exhausted themselves in this direction.
Everything is the same. Today, as well as yesterday, and more than once, our troops stormed the village of Kreminna in groups from the 328th Airborne Assault Regiment, the 104th Airborne Rifle Division, the 144th Motorized Rifle Brigade, and the 126th Motorized Rifle Brigade. And once again to no avail. They found us trying to get out of the forest to Kreminna. There are losses. We went without armored combat vehicles. The artillery support today was even less than yesterday.
Now, let's turn back to the Bakhmut direction. The occupiers here are making intensified efforts to shell the entire front line, Chasiv Yar, Drushkivka, and other populated areas. Battles are ongoing in Bogdanivka and practically in Ivanivske. Attacks on Andriivka are reported today. So the overall situation is challenging, but the Ukrainian forces managed to hold their defense and the front line remains unchanged. In the Siversk direction, all attacks have ceased, with only shelling reported, and the Russians haven't achieved any successes. The front line remains unchanged. In the Kreminna area, the occupiers have once again changed the direction of their attacks, attempting to advance directly towards the village of Torske. There is a significant amount of shelling along the front line. Additionally, attempts to advance towards Makiivka continue. While they manage to make some progress, the Ukrainian forces maintain their defense and the front line remains unchanged. In the Svatove area, after artillery preparation, attacks have begun on Stelmakhivka and shelling is reported in Berestove. So the outcome of their latest attacks is awaited. In the Kupiansk direction, the battles for Sinkivka persist. Over the past day, the occupiers conducted 5 attacks, but the Ukrainian forces held their defense and the front line remains unchanged. According to the latest information, new units are being concentrated in this area, so there might be new attacks in the near future. As many are aware, Ukraine is constructing new defense lines, similar to what the Russians did last year, to fix the front line and prevent changes until a new counteroffensive. Foreign publications claim that Putin is sending unofficial signals to the US about negotiations.
Putin sends signals to the United States through unofficial channels that he is open to discussing future security measures for Ukraine, Bloomberg, citing sources in the Russian Federation. It is reported that Putin may be ready to consider abandoning the demand for Ukraine's neutral status and non-accession to NATO, but will insist on recognizing Russia's control over the occupied territories.
That they want negotiations is evident. Lavrov mentions it daily whenever possible. However, the question is that nobody wants to give up territories, so there is no sense in conducting negotiations. Nevertheless, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland is convinced that when Putin threatens other countries, as he did with Ukraine before the invasion, he should be believed and preparations should be made.
Меня волнует, что мы все еще можем быть такими же, как 10 лет назад, то есть снова руководствоваться логикой запоздалых действий. Это действительно срочно – помочь Украине боеприпасами и средствами защиты их городов и критической инфраструктуры. Я стараюсь подчеркивать актуальность этих вопросов. Мы только начинаем величайшие учения НАТО в истории. Если память не изменяет, в них принимают участие 70 или 90 тысяч военных. Так что России лучше не пытаться, потому что они проиграют. И благодаря храбрости украинских воинов Россия уже потеряла примерно половину своих танков и много другой военной техники. Мы являемся сильнейшим военным альянсом на Земле, но Украине нужно помочь восстановить ее территорию, и нужно найти пути, как это сделать вовремя, потому что время имеет значение. Но когда президент Путин угрожает другим странам, как он угрожал Украине перед вторжением, боюсь, что ему нужно верить. Для этого нужно готовиться.
Meanwhile, Andriy Yusev, a representative of the Main Intelligence Directorate of Ukraine, stated that on board the Il-76 there were supposed to be Russian military and high-ranking political officials, but at the last moment the FSB prohibited them from boarding.
Є багато інших особливостей. Так відомо, зокрема, що на борту справді мали знаходитись декілька ВІПів офіційних від військово-політичного представництва держави-агресора. Але в останній момент їхні прізвища відомі і будуть названі, де матеріали будуть надані в рамках міжнародного розслідування. Але в останній момент ФСБ фактично наказало їм не сідати на цей борт і скористатись іншими видами транспорту. Також відомо, що представники російського МНС, які приїхали на місце подій, були фактично вигнані звідти представниками ФСБ і військовими. І їм не дали можливість здійснити згідно протоколу огляд місця і локалізацію цієї трощі. Ці і інші факти вказують на можливість зумисних дій держави-агресора. І ми розуміємо, що мова йде і про життя наших оборонців, а також про важкий емоційний стан родин наших захисників. І саме тому і коментарі, і офіційна позиція відбувається максимально звиважено і максимально коректно з урахуванням всіх цих обставин.
Українська сторона знала, що на цьому літаку можуть перебувати російські ВІПи, тобто представники там, не знаю, вищого класу російського військового командування, правильно?
Ця інформація була з'ясована вже після того, як подія сталася в рамках, вже, скажімо, нашої оперативної роботи.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.